Are you tired of people telling you when you can and cannot pray? Well, me too. The Bible tells us to train up children in the way they should go, so when they grow old, they won't depart from it. If children are not taught to pray while they're young, they're not going to feel the need to do that when they grow old. I'm a big supporter of prayer in school. I support it 100%. Today I'll be explaining a few points as to why I feel that prayer should be put back in schools. I hope with all of my information I will easily be able to persuade you as to why our schools and students and staff need to lean on God, need to call on God. So I'll be talking about prayer while it was in schools versus when it was taken out. I'll be talking about how schools were affected without prayer and the benefits of prayer. So the first place I went for some information was a website called schoolprayersinamerica.info. It was that article called Bible Reading and School Prayer. The information was just based off some different books, and it compared how schools were with prayer and how they were without, and how they were, when prayer was taken out. So when prayer was in the school system, God was in the schools. Schools used to start every morning off with a prayer, which was the best way to start any day, in my opinion. When people pray, that welcomes God's presence and His protection. When you call on Him, He'll reach down His big hand and just protect and just have His way with you. But when prayer was taken out of the schools, that means God's taken out. Prayer is more than just talking. You're talking to the Master. You're talking to the Creator who can do all things. So prayer is a very serious thing. And God will hear your prayers. If you trust in Him, He'll hear you. So when prayer is taken out of schools, that just pushes all of that away. So when you call on Him and He'll protect you and provide, it's the same way when you push Him away. He'll do the opposite. He's not going to provide. He's not going to protect you if you push Him out of everything. And without God, it's not a safe place. And that's where our kids are. School should be a safe place, and sadly to say, that's where schools are today, and it's not safe. Schools are not safe no longer without God. So, moving on to my next source was Forerunner.com. It was an article just banning prayer in public schools, and it has literally led to America to just a downward spiral. America went downhill a lot. So, on that sad day, June the 25th, 1962, the U.S. Supreme Court, it was their removal of prayer. Not only did it forbid students and teachers to publicly call on God in the name of to call on the name of the Lord at the beginning of each day before lunch, but it also violated the third commandment, which commanded us not to take the Lord's name in vain. Public schools had prayer nearly 200 years before the Supreme Court ruled that awful rule. People say that prayers were unconstitutional. By stripping the name of the Lord from the lips of children has caused evil to enter into the school system. Between 1960 and 1999, there was such a moral decline. During this time period, divorce doubled. Teenage pregnancy went up 200%. Teen suicide, it increased 300%. Child abuse reached an all-time high. Violence was everywhere. Abortion increased 1,000%. And these things increased then when prayer was first taken out of school. So then and now, I'm sure all of these percentages has increased majorly. Our country has been in decline ever since God has been removed from the school system. When you take God out, bad things happen. On a website called All About Popular Issues, in an article called The Advantage of Prayer in School, it explains how there are many benefits to having prayer in school. In 1799, George Washington said, "What students would learn in American schools, above all, is the religion of Jesus Christ." So, above all things, they should have known about Jesus. Of course, that was years before, and now they're just wanting Him completely taken out. It used to be Him above all things. Now, He's not even in anything. So, he said to George Washington said definitely include prayer in school. Practice prayer. Prayer makes better citizens, and of course that's a great thing. That's what presidents want. But prayer is more than just making you a good citizen. When you have God, you have everything you need. That was words from a president. A president wanted prayer in school. So our president today, who could care less if we have prayer in school compared to many others years ago who were totally supportive of having prayer in schools, they're just completely different. It shows where the minds are of the leaders over our country. Of course, the president wants to make better citizens, and prayer is one of those things that will do that. Also, if a child isn't being raised in a Christian home, if prayer is in school, it would give them the chance to be introduced to the Lord and all He can do for them. So you see, with just some short points I've provided, when you have God, good things happen. When you don't have Him, bad things happen. This world has just increased in so many bad morals, violence, abortion, and of course the percentages I give you were years ago. But look at where our country is today. We're slaughtering babies, gay marriage. I mean, come on. I mean, where is God? He's being pushed out, and that's exactly our country is the result of God being taken away. After researching and reading up on prayer in schools, that's the facts that I found. And to me, it's easy to take. I'm a Christian, but to me, it's more than that. It's not me trying to push prayer on you. I mean, it's just simple to see that without God, bad things are going to happen. And the more God is taken out of our schools, then things are never going to get better. They'll never have His protection, and I just hope that with all the information that I've provided, that I've persuaded you and you can easily see why our schools need prayer. Our schools, this day and time, they need someone to call on. They need to be protected. There's so much evil out there in this world that God is our only hope. I know this is a short speech, but I mean, with what little bit I've said, I don't see how you couldn't agree that just having God would make everything better. At least you would have some hope. But until this world turns to God, it's just going to continue to go down in a downward spiral. Bad things are going to continue to happen. So I hope that with everything I've said, I've persuaded you, and you would agree with me that prayer needs to be back in our school system.